ALP with larger class size, so we can't prove that in any rigorous way. But I think it is a certain nice example of where smaller class size really does pay off. So, and one of the ways is it allows much more individual attention to those students. It also allows time to deal with the non-cognitive issues. So we don't consider that wasting time in the developmental writing class to talk about someone who's always late for class because they have trouble getting transportation problems. So we talk about, if there's a bus, half an hour earlier, you could get here and have a little study time in the library before, and so forth. So we try where we can to make it so that the non-cognitive issues can be addressed through writing, so that we're getting the twofer. We're dealing with writing and non. So, for example, a couple of years ago, we all used an assignment. We don't require anything like a research paper in a developmental course, but we do in 101. So to get them ready for that in the developmental course, we had them do a mini research paper on the Pell Grant, the new Pell Grant rules. So, and we were discussing those papers, and and it was sort of nice. We were doing something about a non-cognitive issue, financial aid, and learning how to make works cited lists and so forth. So we were getting both a writing objective addressed and a non-cognitive addressed. All right, so how did it work? At the top of the screen, it will be data on students who went through our traditional standalone developmental writing course. At the bottom will be ALP students. So this was a study done by the Community College Research Center, Cho, Kopko, and Davis Jenkins in 2012, and it's available on the CCRC website if you want to, if you're a fiend for data. And the traditional students, from fall of 2007 through fall of 2010, were over 5,000 students. Now, in those days, we were just doing a small number of ALP sections. Now, those 65% passed and 35% didn't. That's a little higher than our pass rate in 1993. Maybe it's because CCRC has much more powerful computers than our Apple IIe. I don't know. It also, I want to be clear, that the students who passed English 052 did not necessarily pass it on their first attempt. Many of them took 2 or 3 times before they passed it. For ALP students, this sample size was just under 600 students, but the success rate in the developmental course was 82%. So we were happy about that. That's 17 percentage points higher. But remember the group of students who passed the developmental course and then never sign up for one? They're still there. This time it's 17% of this cohort. It was 16% in 1993. Now, I wouldn't have flown all the way out here to Oklahoma City to talk to you about this if we couldn't get that 17% down. And in fact, we got it down to 0, which may seem miraculous until you know how we did it. We require that they take the 101 and the ALP together. They're co-requisites. And so there's no way they can pass the developmental course and not, because they can't even take the developmental course in the ALP program without attempting 101 also. So 100% of the 592 students have attempted 101. But what we really want to know is success rates. We're still at 1/3 for traditional students, and a whopping 74% of the ALP students, not always on the first try, since some had to take 101 more than once, but the pass rate was 74%, more than double the 33% pass rate. When we got those data, we didn't believe it at first. We thought we must have done the calculation wrong. We didn't run a two-tailed test. I don't even know what a two-tailed test is, but I know it's something good.